In this video we'll show you how to load bank transactions into Debonair from a file that you've obtained from your online banking. The first thing that you need to do is to learn how to extract the bank statement data from your online banking. Unfortunately, all banks have a different process for doing this, so it's not possible to demonstrate this in this video. However, if you have any problems in this regard, please contact us and we'll help you to get to grips with this. What you need to do is request the information from the beginning of the month that you are going to post to the end of that month. Once the online banking shows you the transactions, you then need to ascertain how to export these transactions to an Excel file. You'll find that there is some facility to do this on most online banking systems. You must ensure that you then edit the file so that it has only got 3 or 4 columns. If the transactions are listed all in one column, with the receipts being positive and the payments as negatives, then you want 3 columns only. One for the date, one for the explanation or narrative, and the final one for the transaction values. If the file downloaded as the transactions for receipts and payments in separate columns, then you need to have 4 columns. As before, one for the date, one for the narrative, and then one for receipts and one for payments. If the bank downloads any other data in other columns, then you need to delete all the additional columns so that you are left with only 3 or 4 as indicated previously. The Excel file that you download may be in one of a number of formats, but what you need to do to upload the data to Debonair is to create a file that is formatted as a CSV file. This is easy to do. Just choose File, then Save As. Choose the location where you wish to save your file, and then click on the down arrow here for Save As Type, and from the list choose CSV, delimited. Then you go to Debonair and enter the statement balance at the end of the month in question in section 1. In this video we will assume that this is for the month of March 2024. When you enter the month-end balance, Debonair will calculate the difference between this and the opening balance. As you can see here, that this is 150 in this example that we are showing. It would be a good idea at this point to check that the net difference of the transactions on your CSV file also come to the same difference before you attempt to load it. In this example, we need to ensure that the transaction differences agree with 150, which it does. If you have receipts and payments in separate columns, sum each column and take one away from the other. Then proceed to section 2 on Debonair. Instead of manually entering the transactions from the bank statement, you should click on Choose File here and search for the file that contains your CSV data. The name of the file should then appear to the right here in blue. Also, a further button saying Upload Mapped Data should appear. If you click on this button, Debonair will then ask you if the file to be imported has a header or not. As you can see in this instance, the file does have a header, so we click on Yes. Debonair will ask you to allocate or map the columns of the data from the bank to the desired allocation on Debonair. The first column is clearly the date, and thus we choose the date from here. The next column is showing the narrative relating to the transaction, and for this you choose Details. If you have loaded a 3-column data file, as we have here, then the final column should contain the mixed receipts and payments. For this column you choose Sort, to let Debonair know that it must sort out the receipts and the payments. If you have loaded in a 4-column data file with receipts and payments separated out, then you allocate the columns containing receipts to the Received option in the drop-down, and the column with payments to the Paid option. Once you've allocated all the columns, then you click on here on Saved Mapped Data, and when it says Data Saved Correctly here, you click on OK. Debonair will then load in all the transactions, and if it has been done correctly, the balance yet to be entered here will show 0 in green and state that the entries are complete. Should you find that the data has loaded incorrectly, you can simply check the data to your bank statement and delete any transactions that are not needed, and add any transactions if any are missing. To make a space for any omitted transactions, go to the row below the missed transaction and click on Ctrl and A at the same time, and it will insert a blank line for you to insert the missing transaction. If you find that you can't correct the information, you can always click on Delete All Transactions here and start again, either repeating the process or entering the data manually as you have done hitherto. When you go into section 3 for receipts and select a transaction, then it will auto pick up the date and the narrative from the inputted data. All you need to do is click to the right of the narrative and enter a space, a dash and another space, and write a description of what the transaction was for, like this. The same will apply to bank payments. As you select a transaction, it will load in the date and the first part of the narrative. As with receipts, enter a space, a dash and a further space, and then enter a description of what the payment was for. By entering the transactions from a file downloaded from the bank, this should save you time entering the transactions in section 2 and provide a helping start in both section 3 for receipts and section 4 for payments. It should thus make it quicker and easier for you to post your transactions. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notification whenever we upload new videos to help you. Bye for now.